speakers and our musicians, so I'm going to invite all of you to come into the sanctuary and gather. And I'm just going to say it again because I know there's a lot of lovely conversation happening. I invite you all to come into the sanctuary to bring your solar panel cake or your sun cake and your beverages, and to come into the sanctuary for our program. I invite our speakers and our musicians to come sit towards the front. And we're going to start in 2 minutes. You got 2 minutes.
Yeah? Am I good? Welcome, everybody, to our first ever and probably only Solarbration. Woo! Thanks for the musicians who are gracing us with song. I really appreciate it. And if you've got some cake and some lemonade or some coffee, come on up here. We won't take a long time, but we want to acknowledge and celebrate the exciting and wonderful achievement, long in the making, of the installation of our solar panels. Yeah. This has been a journey that has been probably longer than anybody in this room may have realized. We've had a long history with Faith in Place. Is this the Faith in Place table? No. It's Faith in Place. Hi, Faith in Place. Hi, Faith in Place. Hi. Nice to meet you. Nice to see you. Reverend Claire Butterfield, who founded Faith in Place in 1999, a Unitarian Universalist minister, was well known and loved by our green team here at UCE, and she preached here in the early part of her time with Faith in Place. And she was always very supportive of our efforts to be a more sustainable house of worship. A decade before that, UCE was exploring and developing responsible environmental practices, and in 2005, we became a certified green sanctuary with the Unitarian Universalist Association. The story, as I was told, was that Marjorie Fisher, Andy's mother, kept pressing our minister at the time, Reverend Barbara Peskin, saying, we really ought to be a green sanctuary. She'd just come to Barbara again and again. And finally, Barbara said, well, what are you going to do about that, Marjorie? And Marjorie said, well, I guess I'll start it. And she did. She formed a team and led the charge, and many others followed. The green team led efforts to recycle and reduce and to eliminate plastic bags, and we also put in several rain gardens. There's one directly behind us, there's one on the east side, and now we have another garden, although it's not, I don't think, officially a rain garden. But the idea is that our rain gardens divert water from our roof and keep it from overwhelming the sewage system. And one of them is named after Marjorie herself, this one. There's been many others, in addition to Marjorie, who have contributed to our commitment to sustainability and environmental justice, including Andy Fisher, carrying on his mom's legacy, and Rob Geiger, and Roger Young, and Jeannie McCullough, and Shirley Adams, who've researched and collaborated on the solar project, along with Michael Drennan, who has championed our efforts to align with the city's commitment to zero emissions. Dick Whitaker, who for many years explored solar and geothermal energy as an engineer, and Erlene Howard. Is Erlene here? No, she might have left. Erlene Howard, who started Collective Resource Composting as a member of UCE. We were one of her first customers, and Collective Resource now offers commercial composting and home pickup all over the Chicagoland area, which is awesome. And I also want to acknowledge and thank Sandra Robinson, who is not here, but who was our executive operations director for over 2 decades, and she worked really closely with the Green Team for many years in support of their work. And finally, I want to honor the memories of those of our Green Sanctuary forebearers who are no longer with us, but whose legacy lives on. Alex Sproul, Bill Fisher, Bud Brock, and of course, Barbara Young, whose generous gift, financial gift, made the solar panels on our roof possible. It took the combined efforts of many to research technology and talk about our faith's values of being respectful and humble stewards of our earth, and we are so grateful for their love and care. And I want to just acknowledge, if I've left anybody, I know that there are many that I'm sure I've left off some names, and I apologize for that. But if you've got somebody in your mind that you think has been a champion of environmental justice in our congregation, lift up their name right now. Anybody? Who? Mary Beth. And you said? Adam, of course. Well, I was going to get to Adam. It just wasn't done yet, but. Sarah Isles, yeah. Good job. There's a lot of us, right? So, with deep thanks to Faith and Place for your guidance over the years, and to Verde Solutions for your professional expertise, and Adam Goff for your stewardship of this project with the building team. Yes. Let's give everybody a big hand. And may we continue. We've got a lot of work to do, right? We're not done on this journey. So let's continue our efforts to reduce emissions, reduce our carbon footprint and our impact on the planet. And may our efforts encourage others to find ways to walk softly upon and be respectful co-inhabitants of this precious and beautiful earth. Thanks for being here today, and I don't know what's next. Is that okay? Good.
We received a $5,000 grant from Faith and Place to cover some of the expenses for putting in the roof. And so I would like to recognize Reverend Nick Faison to come up and speak. Reverend Nick is Faith and Place's Illinois Outreach Director. So please welcome Reverend Nick.
Hey, y'all. Hi. So as mentioned, I'm Pastor Nick Faison. I've been the Illinois Outreach Director for several months now. But I'll be honest, for those who know, I have not been the one accompanying you on this work. We've had other folks, our other outreach coordinator, Dan, who had been walking alongside University Church Evanston. Unitarian. I apologize. I'm seeing the UCE, and the immediate thing to my brain is that. I'm a Lutheran pastor, and so anything that's U is typically university. So I apologize. But at Faith and Place, we believe that climate disaster is a spiritual crisis, right? We believe that it is a reflection of our disconnection from ourselves, from our world, and from our spirituality. And so the way that we see change being addressed is by working directly with green teams. And our green teams come from various houses of worship, teams of 3 or more, because we believe that you're the expert in your community. You know what's going on, you know what's needed, right? We couldn't tell you that you needed rain gardens, but you know what the flooding is like in your neighborhood. And so these things make sense. And so we believe that walking alongside our houses of worship, our green teams, helping by providing leadership equipment, equipping, as well as any type of financial or just spiritual support is kind of where we see ourselves in this work. So it is amazing to be in a place like this. And I also want to add this, Evanston is kind of where it's at. This is the 3rd time I've been in Evanston, probably within the last 6 weeks, with a different green team, every single time. Yeah. And I think that means a lot, and I think it also demonstrates the call of the folks in these communities, in Evanston, right? You know you want change. You know that you care about the environment, you care about what's happening, you care about future generations, and you also care about what's happening right now. And so the work that y'all are doing with your solar panels is sensational, it's necessary, and it seems like y'all have been on this journey for years, which also shows that you are in so many ways pioneers to this work in our area. And so I'm so grateful to be able to bear witness to that today. But with that being said, Faith and Place, we are so happy to be able to support this work, to be able to offer a grant to kind of get things started. And it seems like through the generosity and the true belief in this work by your congregation that you've also been able to make this come to life. And so this is what's happening today, your ribbon cutting. This is truly a testament to your faith, to your spirituality, and your care for creation and your neighbor. And just as Pastor was talking about earlier, about going into nonviolence, resisting, and being part of this movement work, caring about your neighbors, this too is movement work, right? Environmental justice work is movement work. When we are actively choosing to be green, when we are in a world that is more consumed by profit To counteract that, that is resistance, right? That's what y'all are doing. And so thank you again for having us. Thank you for the work that y'all are doing in this community. And thank you for being the example, right? Because more and more people in Evanston, they're gonna see your solar panels, they're gonna see all these little intentional pieces that you're doing, and they're gonna follow suit. You are setting the example for this community and the communities that you may dwell in. That is powerful. That is truly a reflection of your spirit. And so thank you again for allowing us to be partners in this work. Y'all are really incredible beings for this. Thank you.
Thank you, Pastor Nick. Thank you. I would like to invite Kristen Lems, who's already up here. Lovely. May I introduce it, or do you want to introduce it? Okay. So this is called Solartopia, and it's an original piece written and performed by Kristen, and it's based on the eco-futurist book by Harvey Wasserman.
I love the idea, eco-futurist, like Afrofuturism. Like instead of saying, I hope, I wish, oh, I'm so scared, it's like, let's pretend we got there and look back happily at the catastrophes we avoided. So this is how it might be, how it will be if we make it so. And there's the word Solartopia, which I think Harvey invented, but I don't think you'd have any trouble figuring out what it means. Just sing it with me every time it comes up. Solartopia, okay, comes up a lot. Do you hear the guitar? Okay, good. Do you remember the days when we sucked all the oil from the ground, burned it into the air? All the wars and the greed that ignored human need all around, as if we didn't care. On a planet of blue and green and brown, we burned fossil fuels just to get around. We came so close to destroying it all until we heeded the call. And now it's Solartopia, right? We found the wind and we love the sun. Solartopia, enough energy for everyone. Solartopia, we saw the future and we planted the seed. Solartopia, on a planet that has all we need. Try that again. Solartopia, on a planet that has all we need. Do you remember the coal and the oil and the nukes and the gas that poisoned our streams? We saw animals die, breathe the smog in the sky for so long, but now we know what that means. We put behind us the days of death and work together as one. Like people of old all around the world, we turn to worship the sun. And now it's Solartopia, balance and sustainability. Solartopia, thinking global, acting locally. Solartopia, goodbye to waste and to war and greed. Solartopia, on a planet that has all we need. Do you remember how hopeless it seemed to achieve our dream amidst the forces of death? They force us to buy the means of our own demise, right to our last breath. But people turn to the mother they love, the planet that gives us life. We overcame isolation and fear got together to do what is right. And now it's Solartopia. Windmill towers turning everywhere. Solartopia. Now all the children can breathe free air. Solartopia. Rich biodiversity. Solartopia. On a planet that has all we need. Another round. Solartopia. Green rooftops give food for all. Solartopia. Winter, spring, summer, and fall. Solartopia. Efficiency and harmony. Solartopia. On a planet that has all we need. We have got a planet that has all we need. Let us love our planet that has all we need. Cha-cha-cha.
That was wonderful. Thank you, Kristen. Now I would like to invite up the City of Evanston's Sustainability Officer, Cara Pratt.
Thank you. Solar is worth celebrating. Thanks so much for having me in this beautiful space, and thank you to everyone who contributed to this project, whether it be financially or convincing other people that it needed to happen. We all know that so much goes into projects like this, so thanks again for shepherding your community through this process. And thank you also to Verde, who is putting up solar panels at the Robert Crown Community Center as we speak. It will take the efforts of everyone to reach our shared climate goals of 100% renewable electricity supply by 2030 and net zero emissions by 2050. Whether it's through physical solar installations like this one, solar at your home, community solar, or participation in our community choice aggregation program. And by the way, if you have questions on community solar, T. Manning is here from Climate Action Evanston in the orange. T can answer all of your questions about community solar. Mitigating the effects of climate change and building community resilience is a marathon, not a sprint. Since we're in this for the long haul, celebrating is so important. And while this is the most formal and impressive Solarbration I've ever been to, please do celebrate all the time. Celebrate when the sun shines, celebrate when you see the data out front on the screen, celebrate every time you see a lower bill, because this is so worth celebrating. So thanks again for contributing to our community's shared goals, and remember that solar is contagious in the best way.
Thank you, Cara. So I want to invite up Grace Ramusin and Jocelyn Lent. Chris Gersch, who's the CEO of Verde, was not able to join us, so the two of them are going to say a few words from Verde. No, come on up. I'm realizing maybe you don't all know, but this is the company that actually installed the solar panels. And so there's a third screen now in the lobby that has an app that shows us how we are converting energy and what we are giving back to the grid and using ourselves. So all of that comes from Verde.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you all for joining us today for this exciting green ribbon cutting event. My name is Jocelyn Lent, and I'm a proud to represent Verde Solutions as the project manager, who helped facilitate this amazing, incredible rooftop PV system here at Unitarian Church of Evanston. Standing next to me is Grace Rasmussen, who is a project engineer at Verde Solutions and who has also contributed to the completion of this solar project.
So this project is more than just panels on a roof. It's a powerful step towards a more sustainable future. So as an engineer, I'm all about the specs. So above your heads, we have about 180 solar panels producing about 30 million kilowatt hours over the next 30 years. So you can equate that to energy use of just over 9,600 homes, greenhouse gases from 16,000 passenger vehicles, carbon sequestered by about 125,000 tree seedlings grown for 10 years, and greenhouse gas emissions avoided by 852 tons of waste recycled instead of landfilled. So that's very impressive, yep. At Verde Solutions, we believe sustainability is more than a goal, it's a responsibility. And we are incredibly honored to partner with an institution that understands and embraces this mission. Congratulations to the Unitarian Church of Evanston, leading by example, and we wanted to thank you again for letting us be a part of the journey. Feel free to stop by our booth, grab some sunglasses for your car, and feel free to come by and learn more about the system. Thank you.
Thank you, Jocelyn and Grace. All right, I would like to invite up our Solarbration choir, mini choir, which is a lot more people than I thought. You're just gonna get a full choir shout out. And they are going to be performing This Pretty Planet by Tom Chapin, but they're gonna invite you in to sing along.
And then
Thank you so much. That was good for the soul. So the formal part of our Solarbration is at a conclusion. For those of you who are online and have been joining us on the live stream, thank you so much for celebrating with us. For those of you in the sanctuary, Verde is here to talk with you about solar panels at your work or at your house. And the Climate Action Evanston, T. Manning, is here to talk about community solar. So if you're not able to install panels, there are other ways to be able to be engaged through the grid in using solar panel. And Reverend Nick is here from Faith in Place. So I invite you to have conversations with all of them. We are going to be heading out onto the south lawn. Verde is going to set up a green ribbon with ginormous scissors, and Reverend Eileen is going to cut the ribbon, and we're going to take a congregational, there's like 80 of us still here, so we're going to take a photo, and then you're welcome to come back in, again, talk to the folks I just mentioned, or wander upstairs to my office, and you can actually see the panels on the wing from my windows. So you're invited to check that out. And then if there's more cake, if you haven't eaten it all, please have a few more bites of cake. Thank you. I'll see you outside.